in the Facebook Live in a minute. Great result last night for Middlesbrough. 5 goals. Pity we didn't keep a clean sheet, but 5 goals, exciting game. Crowd all went home happy. It was a dreadful night. Yeah, but great result. Right, I'm going to go live now on the Facebook Live. There we go. Well, thanks for joining me on Facebook Live and YouTube, and thanks as always to the sponsors: Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cornerstone Business Solutions, Borough Museum, Cleveland Systems Engineering, RWTA, that's Richard Wills Training Associates, and TGM Cars. If you don't know the team for last night, Borough fans, I don't know where you've been, you must have been to the moon. The team was Stefan, Giles, Lenihan, McNair and Smith. Ramsey, Howson, Hackney and Foz, Akpom and Archer, and on the bench was Roberts, Jones, Mort, Belazer, Dicksteele, Crooks and Bowler. The game, going into the game, I'm thinking, hey, you know, some people have been questioning with Bottle as a team, we getting done 4 against Huddersfield. Burnley, different opposition, they're top of the league, they get promoted in the night, no disgrace there. And then we go to Bristol, we're 2-0 down, then we showed a bit of character, but it was 1 point out of 9, 8 goals conceded, and we're going in against Norwich last night, who are a decent team, who are chasing a top 6 position. But I have to say, I would have questioned if we could beat last night if we got the bottle. Last night we proved we had the bottle. I mentioned last week about having balls or T-side steel. We proved that last night. We were tackling, we were harassing, we went for the jugular from the off. We nearly get done a couple of times defensively, but we got away with it. And 5 goals, I mean, incredible amount of goals, another 5 goals. So many times we've scored 5, 4, 3s this season. Over the last 10 years before Carrick came in, we used to struggle to get a goal. Now we're banging them in left, right and centre. But Ramsey, Hackney, Archer 2 and Akpom another 1. Brilliant. It was a great performance, good in the eye. But going into the games, I said in the lounge last night, we get into these games, people say, oh, pressure. There is a bit of pressure, of course there is. But as I was saying in the lounge last night, I used to look at it and think, pressure. I've played in playoff games, but I'm thinking pressure. Going and playing in front of 26, 30,000 who support you at Middlesbrough at the Riverside, or Erson Park when I played. These guys are getting 30 grand a week. Flash houses, flash cars, flash this, flash that. What pressure? Pressure's when you're on the door with 4 kids. That's a real pressure. Not playing football with your mates. They're your teammates. You train with them every day. You know, you become telepathic training. You know each other's makeup. Who's the funny guys? Who's the boring guys? You get to know all that. But they're all your mates at the end of the day. So if that's pressure, I wouldn't mind rewinding the clock and getting all that pressure that some people describe as pressure. It's a good pressure. But last night, the onus was on us. It was a home game. We had to get back on track, keep the momentum going for going into the playoffs. And we did that convincingly. So well done, Borough. Great goals, great movement, entertaining. Looking at Norwich, I don't even think they'll make the top 6. They were poor. The reason... Why did they let 5 against us? Because they thought they were going to play a bit of football on us and they went for it. They went for the off to try and play football and score goals, and we punished them. Whereas the likes of Huddersfield never. They were route 1 in the first half and harassed and closed us down, didn't let us lift our heads. But last night, they tried to play football against a better footballing team and we showed them the way. I was going to call for the police at half time. Where are we now? Mohammed, hi Mohammed, stunning win, Bernie. It was sad to see the Blades winning today. It could be over next week. I never even looked. I've said it all along. I said 3 months ago, even when we were getting, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, we're getting close. My gut kept telling me that we ain't going to catch them. They've gone. We're going to be in the playoffs and let's get into the final. And then a stroke of luck and a bit of ability and skill and a bit of oomph, we can end up back in the Premier League. Where are we? Anton the Sedge. Hi Anton. Hi Billy. We need to sign Giles. Which loan signings would you permanently sign, more or less? If we get promotion, I would keep Archer. I'd love to keep Archer. Ramsey. Both of them are fast, sharp, direct, skillful, chip in with goals, create goals. So for me, if they were to return to the parent club, that would be a big loss for me. And Giles. They're the 3 definites out the loan players I would definitely be trying to keep. If we don't get promotion, they could all return, and I think there'll be a lot of clubs looking admirably at their ability and what they've showed since they came to Middlesbrough and how good they've did. Giles for creativity without a doubt, because he's number one. He's made more goals than any other Borough player. But the other two have come in. Don't forget, we had Beleza, was it last year before, and Billy Conley or Aaron Conley, an overweight Aaron Conley like that. Didn't do it. Beleza, but your man for Arsenal was a good player, but he was lightweight and wasn't good enough. And Conley was, well, he ended up getting a bit of stick off the fans. I thought it was unfair when he came off one game, they were booing him. I didn't get that. But didn't have the best of times. He worked his socks off, but his lack of quality was... But Barrigan, as I say, lightweight, good footballer, scored a couple of goals, but these guys now, I'm looking at at least three of them, and thinking, I would nail down Giles, I named down Archer and Ramsey. Stefan, I wouldn't be too bothered. Stefan, wherever he's going to go, he's not going to get back Man City. Moat, who came off the bench last night, he's on loan. Probably wouldn't keep him either. It depends. I mean, Carrick will be looking and assessing things and thinking, obviously confident we're going to go up. You have to be confident. The team have to be confident. But in the back of his mind, he must be thinking, if we don't go up, what do we do? And he'll have all that in his head, along with his coaching staff, Woodgate and company, and thinking they'll have two plans, whether we go up or whether we go down. But they know they're going to lose players. I mean, my biggest fear would, if we stay down, that Chuba would go. Chuba scored another goal last night. What's that, 26, 27 goals? Amazing, astonishing. 27, you can run 28. This is your first real season. First season he came to Middlesbrough, we thought, no good. We've written loads of strikers off and we got them right, but this guy we all got wrong. He's been unbelievable. And another goal last night, of course. Carl Atley, hi Carl. Hi Bernie, mate. What a way getting them crucial 3 points, and we did it in style too, up the Borough. Yeah, as I say, pressure, it was a nice pressure. As I say, if Norwich would have came and tried to shop and close us down and harass us and frustrate us, they may have gotten something. The odds are they probably wouldn't have. But when they went and tried to play us at our game, we like to think we're a footballing team. We've proved that. Off the rails, derailed a wee bit in the last couple of games, but yeah, we totally outclassed them on the night. And don't forget, they have to get, I don't know if they get to play in a drive back. If they're on the coach, was it 5-6 hours to Norwich? Dear God, must have been a nightmare journey for them, discussing the performance, discussing the goals conceded. And he kept moaning, hey Bernie, hope you're well. Tommy, hiya Tommy. Great 3 points. Annoying to drop points though, the previous 3 games. It's all hypothetical now, it's gone, it's water under the bridge, the old cliche, the old saying, but it's true. Huddersfield, we were garbage. Defensively, absolute poor. Played like a pub team defensively. Burnley, no disgrace. And then Bristol, 2-0 down, poor defending again. No excuses. We pulled a point back. But last night, the onus was on us. Home game against a team that's chasing a top 6 position, and we went for it, and we did it in style. As I say, the weather, I thought, as a former striker, I'm looking at last night, sitting in the stand thinking, I wouldn't mind being out there. Might get a quiff wet. No, but seriously, being out there as a forward, it suits you. My guess was David Wheater. Wheats, of course, played for Middlesbrough. Loads of games under Gareth Southgate. Wee bit McLaren, Southgate, centre half. Now we're saying, do you like tonight's conditions? Who does it favour? The forwards. Not Beleza. Bernie, he hasn't had his chance yet. Martin Smith says, may have found a better position for Hackney in the McGree hole. Yeah, McGree wasn't in the squad last night. How he's injured. Lucas says, hi Bernie, fantastic result last night. What did you think of Jones? He could be really useful in the playoffs over the bench. Fair play, Lucas. A lot of people had written Jones off. He's off in the summer, and he might well be. A lot of people have given him flack this year. First year and a half, everybody was wanting a statue put up of Jones, how good he was. Everybody's raving about him. Tottenham's looking at him. This team's looking at him. And then it ends up, a lot of people are criticising him. But last night, the fans got behind him, came off the bench, and he put in a shift. And he could play a vital part. But the fans have to gee him up and get him back in. back in sync, because the fans sung his name every week. And then all of a sudden there was a few grumbles and boos and whatever, and he's lost his way. James Thompson says, just a mention to the keeper, was coming in for some real stick early in the season, even though my heart is always my mouth. He's great to get us playing, also shown as a good shot stopper. Great hand to stop them getting an early goal last night. He did, but he still funnies about with the ball, still dilly-dallies, few shankers last night. Guys next to me are going, oh dear, look at that. There was a couple of wee scary moments. There was one get played back in first half, and he pretended he was going to the left, and he took a touch, and the guy read it, and he just got it away in time. So still, in the big games, I mean, these are big games, but when you come to playoffs, you cannot make mistakes. You can't make mistakes. Every time he gets the ball, he slows it down. That's okay if you're winning. But Burnley were getting beat 1-0, and he was taking a touch, another touch, and looking up, and then eventually launches it. I don't get it. I know why teams do it to get players out of position. I get all that. But we're not Man City, we're Middlesbrough. And I don't think we're good enough to play it. And a lot of teams aren't good enough to play it. The majority of teams aren't good enough. Did somebody come? Hold on a wee minute. There's somebody there. Could be 100 Borough in the box, and he still couldn't find one. He used the word that's working. Right? He clenched a bit. I honestly thought Norwich were going to get that penalty. Can I just say, if the shoe was another foot, it was a Stonewall penalty. And my mate does the a lad who used to work with. He does the Sky, and he came in for a drink afterwards, and I says, come on then. Where I was sitting, obviously I'm surrounded with Borough fans. I'm a Borough fan, but I'm not a biased Borough fan or a blinkered Borough fan. I thought that's a definite penalty. And the commentator says he's watched it over a few times. He said it was a definite penalty. So we got off the hook there. But hey, we're due a wee bit of luck, aren't we? You're not FB now. What do you mean, Facebook? Sometimes last night I had flashbacks of Joe Lumley with Stefan. Haha. Joe Lumley, we were talking about him last night. Joe Lumley, where's he? I heard he's in the moon. Ramsey is a baller. Ramsey, a baller. I take it that's a compliment. He's certainly a good player, Ramsey. You know, he's only small, but he's quick and he's skillful and he's direct and he's fearless. He's a tough wee lad, isn't he? Dave Chapman says, needed this victory. Let's keep it going and keep this form for the players. Well, it's important, Dave, that we got a result last night, because if we didn't get beat last night, I'd have been questioning the bottle and thinking, what's happened to us? 4 games, no win a game. But last night we blew them away. We rolled our sleeves up. The weather invited a few challenges, a few late ones at that, but I enjoyed it. There was at times I thought it was a cup game. No, but the rain never stopped all night. And that invited players to slide in and tackle. And yeah, there was a few outrageous challenges and late tackles. Nathan Williams says, Ethan Bernards, Ethan Nathan, Borough took the game away from their inside, 45 minutes. Therefore, playoffs now, and I fancy Borough, anyone in there. I agree. Phil says, what did you think about the Norwich moaning about a second goal? Look, I seen them all moaning. They moaned on 2 occasions. Just get on with it. Whatever you moan it, it's not going to change the decision, or was it a penalty, wasn't a penalty, it's gone. And they did. There was 2 occasions that everybody pitch side and the Norwich bench were going ballistic and pointing the finger and arguing with our coaching staff and arguing with the referee and the linesman, and they lost the plot, because when you lose that, that's your discipline going out the window. And they're losing it on the park and they lost it off the park. So it goes hand in hand. Dave Chapman says McNair has had a lot of stick recently, but was brilliant last night. What a 6 months Hackney's had learning off housing. Can I just say, great goal last night for Hackney. If I was Hackney's pal or his dad or whatever, I'd be saying, listen, you've got it in you to go and score more goals than you're scoring. Last night was a great finish. I mean, it's come out the air, he's hit it, but he's placed it. He's not trying to bust the ball. He's placed it with accuracy, and it's went right in the bottom corner. Great finish. It was a lovely technique, lovely finish. I think the fact that Ramsey was allowed to walk off the pitch was a good sign. Let's hope you're right. Got to beat Luton now and edge away from them. They're looking dangerous. if anybody says who's the team that you fear the most for upsetting the apple cart, if you like, it's Luton for me. Luton, they've just sort of just kept plugging away, and now they're sitting pretty. And we've got Hull Wednesday, and then obviously Luton, and then we've got Rotherham, and then Coventry. 4 games left. It's exciting. Well, we've not got 4 games left. We're going to be in the playoffs, but it's exciting. So Hackney's been very good. I mean, at times some people go overboard, and sometimes I don't get carried away with the hype. But last night it was a great goal, great finish, great technique. Well done, Hackney. There's no doubt to be Young Player of the Year. Graham Madison says, if we'd a half decent defence, Bernie, we would be promoted this year, top scorers in the Championship. Graham, good point. Are we top scorers? Is it still Burnley? Burnley scored. I know they were top scorers. I mean, look to that. We've been brilliant. The last third, where we've struggled for years, we've been boring. We couldn't buy a goal at one time. All of a sudden, we're banging them in left, right, and centre, and they're good goals. Last night there were team goals, not just individual. It was team goals. Pass, move, pass, finish. Brilliant. Akpom get his goal, bit of magic in the left square, ball, tap in. Thank you very much. Looking for each other, helping each other. Go on, Chuba, get another goal. Brilliant. Unselfish. Look, our defence is, we know it's been suspect, but we've been getting away with it because the forward line's been so good. So good. Fullbacks, modern fullbacks, wingbacks, whatever tactics a team play are always flawed defensively in the main. There's not a lot of them great defenders, but we've got guys good going forward, and obviously Giles is brilliant at that. Norwich had the chance to kick the ball out when the play was down and didn't, so can't expect us to do the same way. I agree with that. Please fought O'Neill and Bournemouth today. Oh, Gary O'Neill, Bournemouth won, did they? I think the fact that Ramsey was allowed. Yeah, well, I've read that, sorry. Nathan says, Chuba is a goal machine. Need at least 20 million for him in the summer if he goes. Yeah, look, and I know disparaging or downgrading what Chuba's done. Chuba's been amazing. First goal was like red arrows in formation. It's a good way of describing it. Chuba's been fantastic. Everything about him, his touch, his movement, his hold-up play. But Chuba has to do it all again next season, no matter where he is. If he's here, there, wherever he is, he has to do it all again. This is one season. One season doesn't say you're a great striker. Doesn't mean you're a prolific striker. It means you've had a great season, but you need to do it consistently. But I genuinely think Chuba's got the quality to put in a shift in the Premier. If we go up, I think he could do a shifting and get a few goals. I don't think he'd get the same amount of goals as he's got now, but I still think he'd get goals, providing we put this Carrick's here and we play the same style and brand of football, attacking and try to create things and score goals. Then I think Chuba would be a success. There's a few I would write off in the Premier, but I think Chuba. Some of the lads I talked to think there's only one or two. That's their opinion, but Chuba for me is one that I would hang my hat on after watching him this season with what he's armoured with that I didn't think he had. I think he's good enough to make the transition. Hi Bernie, Terry Jackson. Love to see us start better. We could easily have conceded early before we start. We get going. Yeah, you're right, Terry. But obviously, we come out that tunnel knowing onus is on us. Home game. They're chasing top 6. We need to get back on track. We're being hopeless defensively. We can't afford any slip-ups. The goal we conceded was a poor goal. I think it was Paddy went out to the right. The guy nicked by him, carried it, pretended he was going to square it and put it under the keeper. Now, you're right. They had a couple of early chances. But once we settle down, once we get the first, but once we get the goal back, you're thinking, we're going to get a half time, and then bang another goal. Then it was good night. They might have, packed their bags and headed home. Peter Swan says, hi Bernie. Hi Peter. Great result. Playoff, here we come. Luton won, need third place. Finish coming up last match at home against Coventry from Nottingham up the borough. Peter's exciting, coming up for Nottingham. The last home game against Coventry. Coventry's a good side. They're a good footballing team. But I went home and yeah. Look, the tails are back up after last night. So let's hope we can get a run now and be unbeaten for now at the end of the season, and then get in the playoffs super confident with our tails up, momentum up, and a wee bit of luck and fortune. You always need a bit of luck and fortune. It's not just all about ability. You need a bit of fortune as well, and luck. A decision you go against you, somebody gets sent off. There's loads of things can happen in the game. It's not as straight-laced as, oh, we're just going to turn up and beat people. Nathan Williams says, who would you like to see up front with Chuba if Borough go up and keep him? Ross Stewart. So he's asking Ross Stewart. Ross Stewart, of course, is a Sunderland centre-forward who scored 12 goals and then get badly injured, ruled out for this season. I'll be honest, I've looked at his goal tally, great. But if we got promotion, is he good enough to jump up to the top flight? I don't know. I've not seen enough of him to really comment on that. I would probably, hey, if we were in the Premier, I'd be looking for, no disrespect to Ross Stewart, but I'd be looking for bigger and better than Ross Stewart if we get in the Premier League. We'd have a boatload of money at our disposal, and we want to spend it and spend it wisely. But I think our aim has to be higher than that. Don't forget, any time we've got promoted, we've come down again. I mean, I keep going back to the Karanka period. That was criminal. We fight tooth and nail. First season we get beat at the playoff final at Wembley with Norwich. So glad we gave them it last night. And then in the following season we get promotion. And then we come down, won 4 games this season. You know, if we get promotion, we have to have a go. You might as well come down having a go than being frightened to death. Very impressed with Moat when he came on, and Jones looked good when he came on. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. Moat was inspiring, and Jones, but they're coming into a team that's flying last night. A team that's banging in the goals, a team in form. If they come on against Huddersfield, would they have shone like that? It's easy coming on when the team's vibrant and doing the business. So when your team's huffing and puffing and struggling, that's when substitutes can make a difference. They were coming into a nice environment last night. Morgan Littlefair, hiya Morgan. Hiya Bernie, do you think if we get promotion, we'd keep these players like Archer, Ramsey and Giles? I can only surmise and guess the same as used Borough fans. I would hope we could, and the reason we possibly could is because we'll have money. The opposing clubs will know that, they'll be bumping up the price, but there's no doubt that they'll be on other clubs' radars after the style and brand that they've played and how good they've played since arriving. People will be noting their goals and their movement and their passing and their pace and their trickery. So people will be noting that down. But they're not our players. This is one of the downsides. They're not our players. We've got them in loan, which is great to help us get promotion. But I always say, when you bring loan players in, your foundations are made of sand. So we could be Burnley at the minute, and we go up, everybody's celebrating. And then the parent clubs, I want them back. Villa, no, we want Archer back. We want this one back. Giles back to Wolves, and then we're left to pick up the pieces. So I would hope if we got promoted, we could afford them. I don't think, would their clubs want them back? I don't know the answer to that, but I wouldn't think so. But we want a fair amount of money for them. Evening, Bernie, would you like to see Ben Gibson come back to Borough from Norwich? I personally could defend it. Matt Atkinson, Mark, definitely not. Definitely not. I like Ben. I like Ben as a player when he was here. I always describe it in layman's terms. Your missus says to you, what's your name? Your missus says to you, Mark, I don't know if you've got a missus, whatever, or a man, whatever. Your partner goes, I'm heading off. I'm going for a younger model, better looking model, fitter model, whatever. And heads off. And then doesn't work out, you come back and you go, come on in, and you come, I'll give you a cup of tea, yeah. Would you welcome them back? Well, Ben, like a lot of Borough players, and we have brought Borough players back, and I'm not a fan of that. We brought Shuey Downing, who I'm a massive fan of. Pally, my mate, Pallister, brought him back. Colin Cooper back. Janino back 3 times. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's lazy recruitment. Ben moved to Burnley. Ben's career with Middlesbrough was like that. He went to Burnley, it dipped. He went somewhere else, dipped. Went to Norwich, dipped. He wasn't even in the lineup last night, was he? Was he in the lineup? Was he on the bench? So for me, no. And by the way, he did play well in the Premier League. There was him, Valdez and Negredo for me were the only players that succeeded out of the team that get promoted under Karanka. So he did do well, but then the following season we reduced the back five to a two, and Ben in the Championship huffed and puffed. Still got a glamour move, but it did tell me that Sean Dyche, when he was Burnley manager, who's obviously at Everton now, when he was a manager of Burnley, he never signed Ben Gibson, like we see at Middlesbrough and everywhere. Other guys would bring them in, Sean Dyche just went, don't play him. Never played him. Must have made a fortune, like, but I think Ben... Somebody was questioning last night, oh, these guys just go for the money. No, the money's fantastic. There's no doubt about that. But there's a lot of professional players out there. Professional, they want to play every game. They want to win every game. They've still got goals, aspirations, ambitions. Money's the luxury, fantastic. But I wouldn't like to sit my backside every day of the week and not play a game, not get a goal, not get the buzz, get the adrenaline going. I wouldn't like that. The money's great, yeah, but there's the other side. It's the other side that keeps you happy. Money doesn't keep you happy. Playing, banging in goals, getting promotion and being up there and the fans behind you. That gets the adrenaline rush. We need promotion. Carrick had Premier League suitors with all the sackings this season. Chuba possibly will have, this is Neil Squibbs Younger, will have bottom half suitors too. So we need promotion. Carrick, yeah, look, there's already been speculation and talk in national radio over the last few months, a couple of months, saying that Carrick, West Ham's got their eye on him, they're going to sack David Moyes. Don't forget it's pie in the sky, it's hearsay and probably spinning bullshit, whatever. No, he could go when Hodgson disappears for Palace, he's only short term, Carrick will go there. Well, it's up to the chairman, Steve Gibson, who we respect greatly, who had the mentality to go and get him and bring back Woody, and it's what to treat. To keep him and please him and give him players that's going to do the business. Neil Wheatley says, Bernie, I hope you and yours are well. Thank you, Neil, and I hope you are. Archer has a lot to his game. Chuba has faith in him. The runs they make for each other shows the unity. They have good football pressing trials. Great to watch. It was, Neil. As I say, we lost our way 3 games before that, but last night was very good. You're right, they were sort of telepathic, they know where each other is. There you go, the runs are good, they hold it up, they help each other, they acknowledge each other, and they complement each other. So, yeah, as I say, very, very good, very good. Stefan, like a wall at times, but as with every player, he has flaws, else he'd be first choice at City, but he wouldn't be first choice at City. Can't complain about saving. Recently made some important saves last night. Well, I've said Daniel, I've said for a while Stefan will cost us in the big games. He's caused a few this season, no ifs or buts, but everybody does make mistakes. The games recently, has he been at blame? Well, you can't blame him. A lot of people still blaming Paddy McNair. Dear God. If you think Paddy McNair's the reason why we get beat 4 at Huddersfield and let 2 in against Burnley and 2 in against Bristol, you're living in cuckoo land. You really are. You can't blame one guy for all those 8 goals conceded in 3 games before last night. It's just ridiculous. The defence has been poor. Carrick has praised Woodgate in the Gazette this week. I don't read the Gazette. Do you think if when Carrick leaves, Woodgate could become the manager again? But again, Matt, we're going for the same route. Woody's been the manager. He's been sacked. He headed off. He went to Bournemouth. Then he left there. Then he was doing a bit of media work. And then he returned to Middlesbrough. I was surprised he returned to Middlesbrough again. Were you not? I met Woody. I actually told him that. What I was thinking, I said, I was surprised you came back. And he says, so was I, and so was the majority of people in Middlesbrough. But Woodgate, what he's done, Woody, and done it brilliantly, he doesn't come out there wanting the adulation for the fans because he's a homegrown lad. He stays in the shade. If Carrick needs him, we'll maybe go and have a wee word in his ear or give his advice. But he's happy just sitting there. Carrick will know how good he is and what effect he's got for the team. And no doubt he's played a major part. But I like that. He's not looking for that adulation and I'm Jonathan Woodgate, I played for the Borough, I lived here, I played for Tottenham and I went to... He's not wanting that. He's just staying in the shade. Carrick's getting the plaudits, but Woody's doing his job. And I think that's very good. That's a gift in itself. It really is. Nathan says, 4 wins under Karanga and appalling football. You're not going to get up, stick to your way of playing, and if you go down, so be it. Money in the in the bank. So 4-1's under Karanga and appalling football. Get up, stick to your way of playing, and you go down, so be it, the money in the bank. Mo had a great game. As I say, Neil, I'm not saying he didn't play well when he came on, Mo, but I've not seen a great deal of him because we've got too many lone players or something. And coming into an environment like last night when you're cruise control, I think you can only play good. I don't think you can play bad going into a side like last night, who were tearing them to shreds. Yeah, the 4-1's in Karanga. And don't forget, I think it went 7.5 games, which is a club record for Middlesbrough, not scoring a goal in 7.5 games. Ridiculous. It was boring. Square, back. We were like crabs. Was over the moon for Woody getting second chance, but let's be honest, he's there for defence, and that's our weakness. Because you played well, don't get me wrong, hey, listen, it's like, yeah, he can tell the defence. But once you go over the line, the old saying and cliche, you go over the line, they're on their own. So he could be saying, look, I'd have did this, done that. They go over that line and just sleep in. Colin Coops was at the Parkhead, and he was the defensive coach for Reading before Paul Ince got sacked. We beat them 5. They had more hold than Rab Nisbet's string vest. 5 goals we scored. So what was the Norwich? Look, letting goals in, for me, I'm not worried about goals in, as long as we score more goals in opposition. I want the Keegan effect. Kevin Keegan. His mentality was go out, beat the opposition 5-4, 6-5. Brilliant, exciting, entertaining. That's what I want to see. As long as we score more goals in opposition, I'm not really bothered how many goals again. I feel that Dan Belazer, what does he need to get in the team when the lone players are starting? I mentioned that last night, Neil. That's a good point. I mentioned that last night. So Belazer signed for 900 grand. Moat's on loan. So Moat will be gone this summer, for sure. He'll be gone. Belazer's still here. But Moat's in before Belazer. So what does that say about Belazer? I don't know. Somebody should ask Michael Carrick that, the coach. I feel Dan Belazer, yeah, what's his name? Yeah, I don't know. It's a fair point. Regarding, going back to Nathan playing, and if you go down, so the money in the bank. We don't want the money in the bank. We want it out the bank. We want it spent in players to play in the pitch, unless you're the chief executive. That's the thing that really gets me about football. I'm a Middlesbrough fan. I live here. I don't know the financial structure of the club. I keep saying that. Don't know anything about that. And I know that's important. If I keep my club afloat, I get all that. But when we sell players and we go, wow, that's great money, put it in the bank. Well, I'm a fan. I want it spent. I don't want it in the bank. Say we sold Chuba, touch wood we don't. Say we sell Chuba this summer, 20 million. And it all goes in the bank, we don't see a penny. What good's that to you as a fan? Nonsense. Whose idea was it to put Carrick and Woodgate together? Do you think that partnership could be the same as Clough and Peter Taylor? I hope so, Stephen. You're jumping the gun there. Dear God, Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. The younger generation, Brian Clough, you've all heard of him. God rest him, great player, big character, 2 European Cups back to back at Nottingham Forest. His statues in Albert Park in Middlesbrough. I still argue every day that he should be, if I could carry it, I would carry it to the Riverside, put it there with Camso and Mannion and George Hardwick. Come on, they're in their infancy. It's their first season. Again, we jump the gun. That's what fans do that. But I love Middlesbrough, I support Middlesbrough, and I've heard this for 35 years. He's some player. What a player he's going to be. Magnificent. Then he falls down a hole in Linthorpe Road. We don't see him again. That's happened to so many players. I mean, Hackney now is getting all the plaudits, and rightly so. The kid's been great. But calm down. It's one season. Chuba, banging in the goal left now. One season. Calm down. They deserve the plaudits, the credit, the praise, but do not get carried away. Do not get carried away. Once you do it 4, 5, 6, then hey, carried away. But let's calm down. Plaudits, richly deserved, but carried away. I mean, we're talking about maybe even on the old sherry. Don't drink water. But Carrick and Woodgate look a very good combination. But I'm sure Woody and Carrick would laugh at that when you say, could it be the new Clough and Taylor? Well, in 15, 20 years' time it might, but it's not going to be next season, is it? Hey, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you're right. Sean says, evening Bernard, just got a feeling that Jones has had a spell out. He's fresh, has a point to prove, and could be our secret weapon in the remainder of the season. He could be. Don't write him off. Just like my missus says, oh dear me, I can't finish the last bit. Do you get it? Do you get that last bit? Peter could spot a player. Yeah, Taylor could spot a player. Him and Cloughie were the perfect. I remember, it showed you how the game's changed. Brian Clough used to sign players and then tell the chairman, well said Slav, keep calm. Clough used to go and sign players and go and tell the chairman, I've paid 500 grand for him. What are you on about? Who? And Clough would say, oh, it'd be good, don't worry about it. Imagine doing that now, you'd be sacked. Couldn't do it now. As I say, there's certain managers in the business, if not the majority, don't sign players and don't let players go. That's down to other people. I find that astonishing. John McGovern was a great Scottish player. Do you know him? I don't know him personally. Obviously, I know John McGovern, who he is. Played for... did he? By the way, he never played for Scotland, did he? Never got a cap for Scotland. This is the guy that won 2 European Cup for Brian Clough, who was a top player and a vital cog in the wheel of the Forest success. Never got a Scotland cap. Can you believe that? Never got a Scotland cap. Check it out. But John McGovern, I think he played with Hartlepool at the beginning. Talking about Scotsmen, the Derby was on today. I'm not a racing fan. I'm not into horse race. My mates all love the going to putting the GGs, the betting the GGs and watching the Grand National. I'm not into that. Anyway, Korak Rambler win, if you're interested. And he's Scottish. Well, Scotland finally won something. So Korak Rambler win the Grand National today. So if you're interested, that's who's won it. If you've got a bet on, you didn't know who won it, you've won a few quid. Keith Brown says, hi Bernie. Hi Keith. What score you going against Hull on Wednesday night? What was it, Stadium of Light last week? I've lost count with all these bank holidays and all that. Ended up 4-4, they scored in the last. They have nothing to play for, have they? They're not going for top 6 or fighting relegation. They're like mid-table. 3-0. I'm going 3-0. I thought last night would have been tighter, to be honest. But when I seen that they were full hog and going at us and trying to play us at our game, which is football, we ran them ragged. Created chances at will. But Hull, nothing to play for. They might come and play in the same way. If they come and shut up shop, the idea would be, if I was coming to Middlesbrough, I would think, right, let's just try and frustrate Middlesbrough. We can't beat them at their own game football. Who would be your favourite Scottish sports person, Bernie? That's a good question. I've never thought about that one. Favourite Scottish person, sportsman, Jock Stein. And you're thinking, who's Jock Stein? Jock Stein played for Albion Rovers, which I played for. Jock was a centre-half by trade. He was non-Catholic. The reason I say that is because he became manager of Celtic as the first non-Catholic manager, and he won everything in the game. He won the Empire, was it the Empire Cup? Empire State Cup trophy? League Cup, Scottish Cup, European Cup. Andy Murray for me. He says Andy Murray. Tennis, I can take it or leave it. No, Jock Stein for me. I was I was 7 years old and Celtic won the European Cup in Lisbon. Jock Stein was the manager, so yeah, Jock Stein has to be all day long. So Keith, yeah, I'll go for the 3. It's easy saying it, but I'm glad I'm not a betting man. I don't gamble because I'd have lost a lot of money. It's only but fun in it. 3-0. Gibson injured last night, was a pundit in Sky. All right, Neil. But as I say, Ben's career has went off the rails drastically. I've seen clips of him on the Sky, certain games, not really at the forefront, not really inspiring. He was at Middlesbrough, that's why he got the move. You're forgetting yourself, Wolfman. I'm Irish, Kevin, come on. Graham Souness for me, Stephen. Graham Souness, magnificent Scotsman. What about Gordon Strachan, Middlesbrough fans? Surely you love Gordon, the ginger one, north of the border. Tom Corrigal was at a boxing show with the kids, thought they were taking the piss when they told me the half-time score. Oh, so you missed the game last night, Tom. Unbelievable, Tom. You couldn't make it up. We could have scored 10 last night. Incredible. Maybe you're the jinx, Tom. Stay away and we'll keep winning, banging in goals for fun. So Tom's the boxer, he's coach, trainer, whatever. I do a wee bit myself, but my hands have been burnt. A wee bit of advice, you can't really see them now, they're getting better. But I was doing a bit of rendering, cement, sand, and somebody says, put a bit of lime in there. And I got burnt badly. I had gloves on as well, went through my gloves. Anyway, 2.5 weeks in, they're fine now. Couldn't jog, first jog this morning. Or today, my knee get burnt as well. Madness. Talking about that, on the serious note, who was the goalkeeper? I mentioned it last night, somebody told me. There was a goalkeeper at Middlesbrough that I played with, can't remember. It was the same pairs. He flippantly came in and he went, after his professional career, and get burnt diving on the, because he used to do the lines with lime, and he dived, obviously played on, had the bath, went home, 3rd degree burned right up his leg. He ended up getting 20 grand. Check it out. Tell me his name, will you? I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't get his name. Gordon Strachan is the worst Borough manager I've seen in my lifetime. Even worse than Lenny Long for personality. Hey, Lenny's my pal now. I ain't going to talk ill of Lenny. Hey, Lenny got his promotion. Strachan never. No, you can't put Lennon and Strachan in the same category. No, Gordon Strachan, great player for Man United, Leeds United. Thought he was funny in front of the media. I don't think he was funny. Had a bad time at Middlesbrough. Brought half of Scotland down and they all had a nightmare, except Barry Robson. The rest were hopeless. I thought they'd have worked, but never. Chris Morrison says, Morgan Littlefair. Hi, I certainly do, my friend. Me, eye for an eye. Chris Morrison. Gary Walsh. No, it wasn't Gary Walsh. Somebody says his name, will tell you. Put in the internet, while I'm on here live, just put Middlesbrough goalkeeper burnt, former Middlesbrough goalkeeper. Steve Bruce never capped either. That's right, Steve Bruce never got a cap for England. He obviously played with Mike Pally. I'll talk about Pally and Man United. I was down there Thursday night watching the Sevilla game. Brought back memories. I was looking at Sevilla thinking, go on Man United, do them in. 2-0 up, could have been 4 or 5. Manager makes a few changes, ended up 2-2. Ben Roberts wasn't Ben Roberts. Yeah, there was the lead singer from the Alarm. I put a picture out there. I missed half the game. I ended up talking to this guy about music and who he'd been with, and he was telling me he'd played with U2 and Bruce Springsteen and Neil Young, and I was in awe, thinking, what? He was a great guy. He wasn't saying, oh, I played well. I was asking him questions, asking him Joe Jordan, Gordon McQueen, Brian McClare, all Scottish. Yeah, I was asking him, where's he played, who's he played with, asked him about why does singers, artists get, because I always I love music, probably number one. Bobby Murdoch for me, burning Bobby Murdoch, that's my late father's greatest ever player. Gordon Strachan got the job because he had the same initials as Gareth Southgate. Dear God. I thought you were going to say ginger hair. I was going to say Gareth's not got ginger hair. Lost my train of thought. You're right, Bernie, about people just focusing their attention on McNair, and even after yesterday's result, they still did. The Norwich goal instead of applauding the team. Now, listen, cherry picking. I mean, I'm no Stefan big fan. I wouldn't like you think I'm just out to get Stefan. I'm not. I praise everybody. I'm professional in my opinion. You might not like it, but I'm being professional. I would never slate one individual. I think it's unfair because it is a team game. You win as a team, lose as a team, but sometimes it's about individual magic or individual calamities to stop you getting to where you want to be. But it's always, if you lose 4 goals like Huddersfield, you cannot blame Paddy McNair for 4 goals. If you watched it, go and watch it. He's not playing for 4 goals, 2 against Burnley. Last night he did sell his soul and get done. But that happens. But they say everybody, oh, where's Dale Fry? Because Dale Fry's missing. One player does not change how many goals you concede. What's your opinion on Marcus Foz? I was really impressed with his desire to chase win-back balls last night. I thought he was man of the match. Marlon Berryford, no, Steve, no. Keep coming with the goalkeepers, I'll tell you. When I hear his name, I'll know exactly who it is. Foz's work rate's phenomenal. He did come off injured last night, didn't he? He was limping heavily. I think it was I don't know if he got a knee in the the side of the thigh, but he was limping heavily. I think he's 110%er. Man of the match. I think there was a few I think everybody did well last night. Andy Dibble. That's it. Andy Dibble. Stephen. That's it. Andy Dibble. Alan Miller, no. God rest him. Alan Miller came for the Arsenal. It was Dibble. Look it up. Dibble. Andy Dibble, former Borough goalkeeper. He was there when I was there for a short period. Eventually his career finished with the professional game. Went to a non-league club. Sure, it was a non-league club. And dived on the line. Played on. While he's playing on, it's burning into his skin. Has a bath, obviously skin pulls open. Ended up 3rd-degree burns and got a claim 120 grand. Kevin Poole, Ian Anside, Andy Dibble, Brian Horn, or Andy Collett. We've says it, Mark. Andy Dibble, it's definitely Andy Dibble. Nathan, I meant to read these out, but keep them coming. I meant to build on the squad for 3-4 years, Bernie. My sticking to the style of football. I meant the football. Sorry, press the wrong button. The football playing now, have a go and we go down. I agree. No, that's it. Look, fortune favours the brave. I want to see that we get promotion, go for it. Let's keep playing the footballing way, keep entertaining. That's what brings the fans back in their droves. That's why the crowds are swelling now. And have a go. If you go down, hey, we went down with Janino, Ravanelli and all the big guns, all the glamour, and we played some great football. We came down. People accepted it. Weren't happy, but they accepted it because we had to go. Craig Daniel says, if I was a neutral fan, I'd want Luton up in the playoffs. Great football club, ran on a shoestring budget. The other team I'd fear at Wembley to happen. So if I was a neutral fan, I'd want Luton up in the playoffs. Great. Hey, Luton's they're the only club that I fear. Luton. Southern club. No, the gig down that neck of the woods. They're a good team. They've just went about their business. No big names, no this, no that. Don't really see them getting as much. Well, we probably do down there, but up here we certainly don't really talk about them a lot. But they're up there and they're a good team. But so are we. So it's two good teams. Andy Dibble, yeah, it was Frank. Andy Dibble. Sunderland might sneak to. Leslie, no chance. Look, I would love Sunderland to sneak in because I've got Sunderland friends. Mugger's my pal. I'd love Mugger. What an achievement that would be. But I don't think they'll make it because of their lack of strikers. 10 minutes. Strikers are novices. I've said this before. The lad they had on loan from Everton. Again, Everton just took him back. Your big centre forward get injured. Ruled out for the season. Couple of novices in, couple of apprentices. They're not going to do it. I'd love to think they will, but I wouldn't put my money on it. Sneak top 6, Leslie. Put your money where your mouth is. I thought it was a comical game when I watched Norwich laugh out loud. The goals they conceded. Look, defensively there was a Norwich fan in the Legends Lounge. I hosted Legends Lounge on match days, and there was a Norwich fan. He came over talking to me, or his mate introduced him. Says he's a Norwich fan. I tried to get him put out, but they weren't having it. Did you Jim Platt is involved in politics? Do you know Jim Platt is involved in politics now, running as independent Middlesbrough? Did you know that? Not really interested, to be honest. Politics? No interest in politics. If you get into politics, never trust a man who goes into politics. That's all I say. I don't vote. Stopped all that crap. Too many liars. They couldn't lie straight in bed, half of these people. Craig Dale says, Bernie, I was impressed with Mort last night when he came on. Craig, yeah, I was impressed, but as I say, getting into an environment where the team's turning on the style, creating chances at will, you should have a good game. I live in Bedfordshire, and every time Borough play Luton, I'm there. In the away end with my mate, who's a season ticket holder. All right, that's for Stephen. So he lives in Bedfordshire, and every time Borough play Luton, he's on his way to see them. If we don't get promoted, will we keep Carrick? Mike, honestly, when I'm talking about Middlesbrough, I say it's win or bust. That's where we are, for me, at the minute. Win or bust. What do I mean by that? If we go up, boatload of money at our disposal, can possibly nail down the players we've got on loan, get one or two other fresh faces in. And if we don't, I think all the loan players will return to the parent clubs. I think Tuber will be sold because we're a selling club and we'll cash in. Cost under 3 million, it could possibly be 20, 25 million now. So I think we'll end up with a 5-a-side team. Good evening, Bernie. What you think has changed since the 3 defeat to the game last night? And also love to see Isaiah Jones played when he came on. Why do I think last night, Keith? I think because Huddersfield stifled us in typical Neil Warnock fashion in the first half, and then we couldn't believe what they came up with in the second half. So they stopped us playing, closed us down, pulling shots and hassling us. Burnley, a very good team. They were quicker at the back than us. The likes of Ramsey, Archer and company didn't have the pace to burn them up. Bristol, good defensively. Then they chucked 2 in the second half. We scored 2. So I think the other teams were more, apart from Burnley, Huddersfield and Bristol, I thought on paper we should beat them. We will beat them. And we didn't. Last night, Norwich thought we'll just go there and we'll play our game, which is football, like us. But we proved we're far greater than them. I didn't think for a minute they would come and try to frustrate us and just close shop. I did think they would have a go, and they did have a go. Could have scored a couple of early goals, but didn't. And then we punished them, and they just kept trying to play football. When they went 2 down, they didn't say, do you know what, we'll sit back. They just kept going at it. So I think we struggle sometimes when teams don't let us lift our heads and play our game and close Gels and company down, the biggest provider, creator. And last night they didn't do that. If Chubanakpom scores in the playoffs, will the goals still count towards his total for the season? Well, Mark, I've been through that myself. Why shouldn't it count? Blinking goals are the most important goals of the season. If somebody says officially they don't count, of course they do. It's all right then. If they don't count, well, why bother scoring them? Why bother playing the games? Of course they count. Of course they count. Where are we? Didn't Andy Dibble come back on loan? Let 4 in at Forest and 6 at QPR. I think he did come back on loan. But as I say, I knew Big Dibs. He was a good lad, but we were just talking about the incident with the line. McNair redeemed himself after the goal. Tristan Dixon. Do you know what, Tristan? You're right. He put in a shift. He turned it back on. You're right. And Paddy, he'll get the vibes. He'll be hearing the vibes. And I don't know if he's on social network. I'm sure he is, like most people. I'm sure he sees some of the scathing comments, but I think they're unwarranted to cherry pick one player. It happened to Maddie. I mean, I got a bit of stick, but no all the time. But there was Whitton boys in the team I played with. Not heard anything of Gordon McQueen or Joe Jordan for years. You in touch with either? Effective in their day? Joe Jordan, I've not seen Joe. I mean, I was at Old Trafford. I see a lot of the old boys down there. Guys like Mickey Thomas and obviously Brian Robson, Pally and Paddy Crane. But no, and Big Gordon, it's well documented. He's got dementia, hasn't he? I think his daughter, but I know his daughter put a big bit in one of the national papers not so long ago, saying that he wasn't getting funded by the PFA or something. I'm sure that's what I don't read papers, but I've seen a clip on the social network. You're watching Roll Moat tomorrow on ITV. Dear God. Leslie, who's he play for? Sunderland only 1 point from top 6, won today with 10 men scored 2 from a losing position. No, listen, I'm a Mugger fan. Not a Sunderland fan, but I'm a Mugger fan. And I've got Sunderland mates. I want them to get in there, but I still think they'll just be short. If we got to stay up, Ali Smith, no chance. Definitely not. Ludicrous. No, any Borough fan that have watched us defensively and thought we could go up and just keep same players and stay up, no chance. No. Not equipped enough. Bernie, out of the 3, who did you prefer to play alongside? Wilkinson, Baird or Henry? Well, Henry was a winger when I played. He went up front when I left. Wilco, I played with Will. Ian Baird's the best striker I played with at Middlesbrough. Totally different from myself. Strong, he was the same height, big heart, strong, aggressive. Would say, wee man, go up there, get the goals, I'll sort these 3 out. And he did. He was a nutter, but I loved him. The praise Jones is getting for last night being full of energy. He came on the last 10 minutes. First defenders who have been toiling and waterlogged pitch. If he didn't look, that's what I'm saying, Martin. That I didn't say it in those words, but what I mean is he's come into a good team, good environment. Who out of all the loan players you think will stay, Bernie? Well, you've not mentioned what division we're in. If we're not in the Premier League, I think they'll all go back. They'll all disappear. I hope not, but that's what I think will happen. Because if I'm the parent club and I've been reading the reports and getting the reviews and how good they've been at Middlesbrough, I say, hey, we want them back. We're punting them. They're punting them. We've not got control of that. Archie Stevens was your best partner, but left too soon in my eye. Fair point. Archie Stevens was great when I first came. He helped me greatly. He was great in there. He was aggressive, all the things I didn't have. And we complemented each other. He was my first striking partner. But Ian Baird, that's when I scored 32 goals. Ian Baird was part of that. He helped me greatly. Beat Newcastle last day of the season. Don't forget we were a bad team at the time. I didn't know about Gordon. Sorry. No, it's all right, Martin. As I say, I wouldn't have mentioned it if it was in the public arena, but it's been the public arena. Gordon, great guy, Gordon. Great player. I know Gordon personally. Been on a few trips, 5-a-sides, and really funny guy. He had big opinions as well, Gordon. Opinionated. Yeah, like big Gordon. If we got away equipped, no, I've answered that. Colin Fright says, hi Colin. Norwich played with wingers staying out on the touchline and that let a midfield run the show. But Colin, they just try to play football. Well, that's part of it. If you're too wide, they just played football. They didn't once think, do you know what? Let's frustrate them and we'll try and hit in the counter. They just went for it and nearly scored 2 but didn't. And then we tore them to shreds. My first ever away game was Notts County. Warnock was manager, lost 3-2, and Baird missed the penalty. Playoffs, was that the Craig Daniel, was that the second? We played at Emerson Park and then we went away. It was the semi-final, the second leg. Was that the game? Was that when Colin Todd says that he was going to get rid of 8 players? That was a good bit of management, that. If we get promotion, the 8 players was getting ready. Ended up he went first. Nice to see Gary Parkinson at the Burnley game. Class to see ex-players with bad health still going to the games. Yeah, brilliant. It was great. Mark says, do you miss playing in the Masters Football 5-a-side tournament? Wish they would bring it back. I thought they did bring it back. Did Stewie Downey not play in Glasgow not so long ago? I was with Stewie one day and Stewie said he was going to Glasgow to play for Liverpool against Celtic, Rangers and some other team. I used to love it. Hey, I had a good run at the Masters. Dear God, I must have played in about 14 Masters. I played all the Middlesbrough ones. I played in the Republic and Northern Ireland mixed, in Manchester and Belfast. I played in the Euro team select in London. I think Middlesbrough team that I played, I think if we played 9 of them, I think we won about 6 of them. I always remember that, yeah. The Masters were great. Good entertainment. Colin Everton, hiya Colin, fantastic performance and clinical finishing. This is a form we require for the playoffs. Yeah, we need momentum going into the playoffs. If we think we're going to get in there and we're stagnating and we're not confident, we'll not make it. But that last night, that put us back in the map, back in the rails, and nothing to fear. We've recovered. It's how you recover. I always say, if you get done or you miss chances, you either wilt or you roll your sleeves up and say, right, come on, let's be having it. Does Gordon McQueen still live? Yeah, he does. He still lives there. It has been brought back. It should be in Channel 4 Live. So talking about the 5-a-sides. I don't know why. The last one I played wasn't the actual Masters. It was the, what was it called? Premier League All-Stars. Do you remember that? No, it was a one-off. I'll tell you who, Craig Johnson, former Middlesbrough and Liverpool star. He was part of this creation, and they called it the Premiership All-Stars. There was 3 players, 3 former professional players, or 4, 4 celebs and 4 fans. And we went to London. The professional players in our team was Jim Platt, Michael Beck and Craig Hignett, myself, so that was the 4. So it was 4 pros, former pros, so we represent Middlesbrough. And the winners, we were told in advance, won £100,000 for charity. 100,000. So we go to London and we keep progressing. We end up in the final. We played West Ham. Frank McAvenny. I know Frank, he's some character, great player. Watched him at Celtic, West Ham. I still don't know how he didn't win the English Player of the Year. Tony Cotty got it. I think it's probably something to do with his nationality. Anyway, that's for another day. But we beat them. We won 100 grand for charity, for Middlesbrough's charities. So we gave 50 grand to both charities, two charities that the club nominated. But I always remember retail about that. I always remember asking the club, or somebody at the club, could I link in with the Legend Show, which I did. So rather than go to Newcastle, go to the Do It's being held at the Riverside, hand over the 100 grand check to the charities, and I was told no. I always remember that. That's charitable, isn't it? I used to have a pair of them boots Craig Johnson brought out. Yeah, I remember going to London to interview Craig. It's the time I showed my backside in the Jonathan Ross. You think it's all over? Ali Brownlee go dress him. Ali says, Bernards, we could. Well, what's the old saying? Kill a bird, one stone. Anyway, we go there. I end up interviewing Craig Johnson and then showing my backside on You Think It's All Over. But when we go to Craig Johnson's house, I know Craig, I think he knew me, goes into big whatever, how you doing? His wife says he's in the shower. We get all the cameras set up. I've got my questions at the ready. He comes down, how you doing? Shake his hands. His wife heads off. Craig does the interview and just says, look, I need to go and get in a flight, I'm heading off, and he just disappeared. And he's only met me, he doesn't know the cameraman, and we're left in this big house. We could have been robbed a lot. Anyway, that was his trust. But we spoke about in the interview about these Predator boots. Remember the Predator? That was Craig Johnson. I don't think he made a lot of money in that, you know. I don't know if he had the patent or whatever, but I don't think he made a lot of money in that. It says, was surprised that Mugger wasn't shortlisted for EFL Manager of the Year. Done a great job with hands tied. He has. The Notts County game was January. Rippers and Baird scored. You came off the bench to replace Rippers, but Baird blazed a penalty. And that was a playoffs, are you sure? I started against County in the playoffs. Would you have liked to have been on the Soccer Saturday panel with Jeff Stirling and co? Do you know what? I didn't really watch it a great deal, but I know it was very good and I know the figures were brilliant. It was just a great shame that it was dismantled because of the PC lot and box ticking that goes on in the modern world. You know, they all lost their jobs, didn't they? There was only Paul Merson that kept his job, wasn't there? I wonder why Paul Merson kept his job. Is that because he's an addict at certain things or got issues and they're frightened to say you go as well in case he get accused of for his mental health, whatever. But I thought it was a bit peculiar. Charlie Nick went, didn't he? The Liverpool lad went. And then all the boxes get ticked. Everybody's involved now. So I never really watched it. But yeah, hey, I was with Mark McDonald and Eric Gates. That was a great show up here, right over the country at the time, between 6 and 8. What a show that was. Wouldn't last 2 minutes today with the PC law. Wouldn't last a minute. Where are we? We're running out of time. By the way, I'll read these Monday. I do my podcast and I'll read them in Monday. Bernie, it's going to be Mugger vs Carrick final. I said it the other night for Matt Sutherfield. So you think Sunderland are going to make it? That's when I stopped my Sky subs because they went all woke. Well, they're all at the woke brigade's in full flow now. If you listen to radio, watch the telly, read paper, whatever you do, we know that everybody's box ticking. They're not getting the best. They're box ticking, and for me, that's criminal. It's criminal. Box ticking. Get the best in. Get the best in. Yeah. Michael Carrick, next England manager. Dear goodness, stay. Come on, Michael Carrick. He's a novice. He's doing brilliant, but calm down, man. Carrick's done well for 6-7 months, whatever. Brilliant. He's done brilliant. The football has been terrific. But even Carrick would be telling you the same thing. Calm down, man. So we've got Carrick, the England manager. We've got Carrick and Jonathan Woodgate, the new Taylor and Clough. Somebody says to me the other day, Chuba's up there with Harry Kane. I think some of the fans have lost the plot. Kieran Scott lost his mind letting Nathan Wood and England under 21 to Swansea for 400,000. Now Liverpool want him. Yeah, but that might be hearsay at the minute. You know what I mean? There's loads of... I've heard the link, but is there any truth in it? If he goes to Liverpool, then we question it. But the minute... But say, Kieran Scott, he's come in for a fair bit of stick. I've given him stick because I've not seen any proof. The only thing I will say, I know I finished, the couple of lads like Archer and Ramsey, Neil Warnock says that he wanted them and he never got them. That was Warnock's quotes, wasn't it? I wanted those players, but they didn't get me them. The commentary isn't the same anymore since they brought the woman in. It seems duller now, Stephen. Sure opinion, I've read it. Sure opinion. We've all got opinions. We agree or don't agree. We don't fall out and go, oh, you can't say that. And that's your opinion. And opinions are healthy. As I say, majority of people on television and which I don't watch a great deal, I certainly don't watch the news, they're all lying to keep their jobs. Lying. Are you off to any of the Morrissey shows in the summer? Ali Smith. Ali, I'm doing Liverpool. Possibly Leeds, but I'm doing Liverpool. Yeah, I've got tickets. Liverpool, I chose Liverpool because I've been in Liverpool as a player, never really seen it. Hotels, then Anfield. Thanks, brought the Villa lads in, not Scott. Okay. Yeah, so Liverpool I'm going to, and I want to see the Beatles statue. There's a statue in there, and I want to see the town centre, and I want to maybe even have a wee jump in the boat or the Mersey. I want to do a few things, so I'm looking forward to it. Reece Ward, evening Bernie, I hope you're well, and you Reece. Great one last night, on to Wednesday night, hopefully another one. Well, we've nothing to fear after last night. Daniel Jones, great win for the Borough last night. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. Pam Turnbull says, what result last night? If we have a momentum in the playoffs and tighten the defence, then we're up. Going to be a nervy time, but we have super Michael Carrick and a team with belief up the Borough, and a kiss for Pam. Pam knows her stuff. Leslie Coates says, I've said before, I know Craig Johnson well from my lifts home to and from Hutton Road to Ersam and then home. My taxi driver, laugh out loud. The things you used to tell me, or I could imagine. Private conversations. I'm doing after shows in Leeds and maybe Liverpool after the Morrissey gigs if you fancy it. Hey, I'm up for anything, Ali. Yeah, get me involved. So listen, I think my missus says that's it. That's it. Going for a curry Saturday night. Anyway, well done Middlesbrough. Well done Michael Carrick. Well done Middlesbrough for the 5 goals. Well done the fans. 26,000 there last night. Made a lot of noise. It was a dreadful night. Roll on Wednesday, Hull City. I'll be there. Looking forward to it. And Total BS, my weekly podcast, will be on Monday. You can listen for free. And you can watch or listen to past interviews. I'll have an interview on Monday. Who would you prefer over 2 lives in the playoffs, Bernie? Not really thought about it. Let's just. I don't want Luton in the final. Bernie, do you like the script? Awful news about Matt Sheehan. Yeah, I heard that yesterday on the radio. Very, very sad. One of the band member passed away, short illness. Yeah, terrible. That's what I mean. All this PC shite. People dying, getting murdered / raped, and we're worried about a word out of sync. Give your heads a shake. Anyway, thank you very much. Cheers, Bernie. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Enjoy your curry. Thank you very much, Stephen. So that's it. Carrick England manager, are some people on here, for real, God's sake, need to stick with a Borough for a few years. He could go for a big job and fail. I've been trying to say that. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Up the Borough. Well done, Middlesbrough. Well done, everybody. And I'll be back